Hey there, Discover Family Church. Pastor Johnny here, continuing our devotions through the book of Jeremiah. And last time I started a story about me on a bicycle tour across the country. If you missed that one, there's a link down below to the last devotion about that walks you through the beginning of the story. So I'm going to pick us back up at that point. So if you haven't listened to that, this might not make a lot of sense. But so I'm standing on the side of the road, and my mom calls and reads me these verses from Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5 through 8. It says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. I appointed you a prophet to the nations. Then I said, Ah, Lord God, behold, I do not know how to speak, for I'm only a youth. But the Lord said to me, Do not say I'm only a youth. For to all to whom I send you, you shall go, and whatever I command you, you shall speak. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you to deliver you, declares the Lord." So I'm standing on the side of the highway, and I hear those verses, and amazingly, in that moment, I feel God saying, "Johnny, I built you for this. I prepared you for this. Just trust me." And so we pick up the bicycles off the highway and put them in the RV, and then we pick up the bumper and put it in the RV, and then we hit the road, and we're driving down the road, and it's weird because I'm sitting here driving towards California. I'm in New Mexico. I'm driving towards California to start a tour where I'm going to ride a bicycle across the country, and I don't have a bicycle that'll work, but yet I'm excited. I'm excited, even though I don't have the money to buy new wheels for these bicycles. I'm excited because I know that I should not be afraid, because God is with me and is going to deliver me, just like he told Jeremiah back then. And so I'm excited. I'm like, okay, God, you're going to do something cool. I can't wait to see what it is. And about an hour after that, the transmission in the RV starts slipping. It starts going away. And I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Like, at this point, like, all the air is deflated out of my emotion. I'm no longer excited anymore. I've forgotten all about that moment on the side of the highway in New Mexico. You guys ever have that happen? Like, you're going through and you have these moments with God where you get excited, and then life happens. And the excitement is just gone, and you're like, man, where did that go? Why did I have to walk through this, God? Why did this have to happen for me to be able to why did I have to get so excited about what you were doing in my life, only to have life, take a shotgun right through it? That's what I felt like in that moment. And so we limp the RV into a transmission shop. It's the middle of the night, and we're in somewhere in Arizona at this point. We just gotten into Arizona. I think Tucson, or I don't know, somewhere. And we park for the night and get up in the morning, and I decide in the morning that I'm going to have a little bit of faith, and it was fake faith, I promise you. I wasn't operating on a faith. It was just, I'm going to fake it till I make it. I'm going to walk in and just tell them to flush the old fluid out and fill it with new fluid. Sometimes gunk gets caught up in the transmission. I'm just believing, I'm making myself think that I have enough faith that that's what's happening. And so I walk in to this transmission shop, and I say, flush it and fill it. And they go, what? And I go, flush it out. There's some gunk in there. It's making it not work right. Flush it out and fill it up with new fluid. And they're like, okay. And they take the RV back to the back to do that. And about an hour later, they call me to the back of the shop, which is never a good thing. If a repair shop says, hey, come, we want to show you something, it's never to show you how pristine and perfect what you have is. It's never to say, hey, we wanted you to see how good of a transmission you have. They show me the pan of the transmission, and inside of it, like normally a bad transmission, you'll see flecks of metal and stuff like that. Inside there are chunks of metal. There are like pieces of this transmission in there. The gears they're exploded. And I asked him, I said, well, what does this mean? And they go, well, there's only like one transmission in the whole country available to purchase for your vehicle that fits it. It's a 1984 Toyota Dolphin. There's not a lot of transmissions floating around for those things. And so because of that, we would just rebuild yours. And I said, okay. And they told me how much it was, and I think it was like $3,000. And I didn't have $300. I mean, we had enough gas money to get to California and eat bad, ramen noodles the whole way. That was about all the money we had. And I'm like, I couldn't do it. And I knew I could call like my parents or call somebody or call a couple of churches and probably get a donation to help make it work. But I said, well, give me a minute. Let me go think about it. And I asked when would they be able to finish it. And they said, we can get you on the road by Saturday night late. Well, my first service for the bike tour was happening on Sunday morning. This was like Thursday morning. And my first service was happening on Sunday morning in San Francisco, California. And there was no way I wanted to miss this first service. It was the first service of the tour that I'd been planning for over a year. I quit my job to go do this, but there was only one transmission in the country, and they were gonna have to rebuild mine. And so what am I gonna do? And so I walk around the parking lot and I start praying. And I get mad, I get angry, I get upset, I'm crying to God. I'm going, why did you give me this dream and just let it explode in my lap? Like, why did you let that happen? And as I walk around there, I open up my Bible and I open back up to these verses in Jeremiah chapter 1. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I consecrated you. I set you apart. I appointed you to be a prophet to the nations. And so all of a sudden that fake faith turned into real faith. And I walked in and I said, flush it and fill it. And they said, what do you mean? That won't work. And I said, no, that's what I have to do. I don't have the money to do it. I don't have the time. And they made me sign a piece of paper saying I wouldn't sue them or anything. And I hit the road. And we started driving towards California at a top speed of about 35 miles an hour. We left Arizona on Thursday afternoon. And we got to California Saturday night really late, ready for service on Sunday morning. And I'm going to leave you at that point of the story today to finish up. But the message on this part of the story is this, is that you can fake it and eventually you'll make it. Faith is not binary. It's not on or off. There are times when you're going to have to push through yourself to find the faith that God has for you. There are times when you're going to have to work past some of the things that are going on in this world to find the faith. But you have an option in that moment to either turn away from it completely or say, you know what, I'm going to act as if that faith is real in me. And I promise you, when you do that, when you say, I'm going to act as if, not act as if for a show for other people, but I mean you legitimately say, Johnny, act as if you have the faith that God can handle this. Eventually, you're going to have the faith that God can handle this. And that's what I learned that day. I'll finish up this story, or at least go to the next part in the next couple of days. I love you guys. Have a great, great day.